Hello, everyone, and good morning. How are you? This is RK, and I am talking to you early in the morning on my side of the globe. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, be it that it's your afternoon or your evening or your early morning like mine. I want to give a special shout out to my crew, my team, who are also my children, who set up this amazing studio space for me today so that I can be able to talk to you guys. I'm going to make this a brief live. As I said before in a previous video, I was like, I probably won't be doing any formal lives for a little while due to the change in our work schedule. As many of you know, my husband Coach Play, and that's with an I and not a Y, an I, not a Y. He works at a local gym, and we also have our business that we are forming, and it's really taking off, and things are doing pretty good. I can't even say pretty good, it's doing well. And so there's now a shift with the schedule, and so things are a little bit different. But in conversation with him, he was like, don't let go of your lives. You enjoy it, keep it going. So through his encouragement and persuasion, I am here with you guys today, and I'm really excited. So I'm definitely still going to work on having the formal lives with the flyers, letting you guys know ahead of time. But in the meantime, we have these impromptu lives. So I hope that you guys are cool with that for right now. But I had to connect with you guys. Hi, House of Echelon. How are you? And good morning. I'm pretty sure it's morning where you're at. So I thank you for joining. So I am on here doing an impromptu live because I'm super, super excited. If you guys have been following my story, if you've been following my feed, then you will see posts in which I've been featured in different people's, I guess you would say like their page, right? So at my Froggy Stuff, good morning again, at my Froggy Stuff, had talked about, I didn't even put that right there. It's just, I'm so excited. But she had spoke about the At Sacred Para Storyline Content and Character Development Journal, and put my name in her caption, because when she was talking, she was like, I can't remember her name. And so she put the name of my account in her caption so that people could also check out the journal. And then she sent me this really sweet message through one of the feeding threads. I think that's what it's called, right? Or you know how we like post it, we have like all our comments. So in the comments, she had told me that she had ordered the journal and received it through Amazon and was excited about it. So I was like, oh my God, this is awesome, right? And all praise goes to God. I also posted previous reviews that I've gotten from Panic Pixie Dolls and the awesome, amazing Plastic Adventures, who got the journal and had, you know, awesome things to say about it. And that, you know, it's very encouraging, you know, being able to have response from anything that you write. It makes you feel good, you know, and that's why we do storyline content on here, because the feedback that we get lets us know like, hey, let's keep it going. And I've always felt that as an indie author. But like I've said in other lives and other conversations, a while back, I had to wait until I had book signings. And then at those events, I would have people come up to me and say, you know, I really enjoyed this character, or why did you have this happen? Or this took me back to this memory. And that was really encouraging. But book signings are kind of far in between. It's almost like a concert, right? So if you have a music artist and they put out an album, they can get buku comments, but the biggest encouragement that they get is at the concert, because they're like, hey, all these people came, all these fans came, they really do love my album. So this is the same thing there. Like, I was writing, but I wasn't getting a lot of feedback in my process, other than maybe talking to my writing mentor or having my husband review it or sending it to, you know, someone to edit. I wasn't really getting the audience feedback. Whereas now, being able to put my story out there through our wonderful DAO community, I'm able to get feedback. And don't forget about using that hashtag, Instagram stories. Okay, Panic Pixie Dolls and I have done a collaboration with this hashtag so that we can all be seeing who do storylines. I know it seems like I just threw it in there, but I had to throw it in there because I want us to be able to see each other. And that's the same thing with Panic Pixie Dolls. She wants us, and we want us to be able to find each other and be able to keep on giving each other encouragement and feedback. And I'm story obsessed. Panic Pixie Doll, she's story obsessed. So we love story. We love being able to see other people's stories. And it's fun, right? And on top of that, for me, that's like, I have 10 kids. 10 kids. So for me, when I sit down and I read a story, that's literally my soap opera. That's my me time. That's my time to sit down and just like soak it up and absorb it. You know what I mean? So I enjoy storyline content on that level. It's a very personal level for me. It's my soap opera. I don't watch soap operas anymore. I used to. But, you know, the content isn't always child friendly. So I don't do it anymore. So now being able to go to our doll accounts, read the stories that's there, it allows me to have that sacred space. Oh yes, that's sacred. That sacred space to just have my own mommy time, my own me time. And I thank you guys who are the creatives who create such awesome storylines and such amazing characters. I see you, House of Echelon. You have your characters and you splash in what their bios are and what their content is and who's married to who. And I'm like, wow, okay, I like this. I like this. So if you haven't checked out House of Echelon's page, definitely do. Sorry, Reggie. Oh my goodness. I had such a time trying to put them up and now they're like falling. So let me get to the basis of what I want to talk about because I think they're kind of like letting me know like, sister, hurry up. You taking too long to talk too. Anyways, okay, so I did get an amazing surprise this week and it literally felt like Christmas. They're giving me a hassle. Felt like Christmas. I checked my notifications and first time I had a message, like I said, with my froggy stuff, and she was talking about the journals, and then she gave me the comment back, the feedback about ordering the journal, and made me super excited. And you know, I always get nervous. I'm always like, oh my God, I have 41 books out there, guys. But even with 41 books, even with book signings, I still get nervous. I'm like, you know, I want to be able to make sure that my content, what I'm putting out there, is a pleasing and that it's, you know, serving the needs of my audience. So that really did put a smile on my face. My reviews that I already had previously put a smile on my face. I have Debbie Owens who got a book, I do believe, through winning, because I had one of those like giveaways, and she gave me a really positive review. And so I want to thank you as well, Debbie Owens, for that. So anyone who's made a purchase, if I left you out, I apologize. I'm really just going by reviews about, you know, from conversations to be able to say thank you. So I want to thank you guys for your constant support. I have people on here that have just, I'm telling you, like, this doll community is awesome. I know, right? They're just falling on me. But there are so many awesome and amazing people on here. I just recently read someone's blog post and they had put out a message. I think it was a doll sitting pretty. I want to say that's her page. And so she had wrote that, you know, she was just so grateful for this doll community and the love and support that's there. And I totally feel that. Like, I always tell you guys, I've gone through some really deep stuff in my life within the past 2 years or so of being connected on this doll page and with the doll community. But the love and support that I feel has like really helped me through. I'm telling you, like, I get a message at times from Cutie Erica, and she's just saying, hey, I feel your energy. Are you feeling low? You know, let me, you know, give you encouragement. She'll send me a virtual hug. It feels so good. I need those times. Life and doll, my soul says, like, we vibe, we talk, and I've been so encouraged through rough patches of my life. There have been so many different people who has just been there for me, and I'm thankful for opportunities that I've been there for other people as well. Oh my goodness, and oh hello dolls, I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of doll stories right now. There's just so many different people that I've had a really good opportunity to talk to and on an interpersonal level, not just like surface level. And that's what I love about our doll community, is that we don't have surface conversations for the most part. We have these deep, intrinsic soul conversations. And you guys are so transparent and so authentic. And I'm thankful. I'm so thankful because it's helped me to blossom and grow and release my shells and my scales and just be who I am. So I had to put it out there. Thank you for rocking with me. I'm really been enjoying it. My babies are out there in the kitchen, so that's what you just heard, y'all. Like I said, they set this all up for me. I have amazing kids. I really, really do. At times, it's like you feel like I feel like Homer with Bart Simpson. And I never thought I would feel like that. I used to watch The Simpsons and I'd be like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Like Homer's tripping. Now I'm like, I get it. I get it. But I would never do that to my kiddos. I love them. I get to be their mom. It's a privilege. So, bye, love. Have to get ready for work. Take care. Yes, have an awesome day at work. Coach Play Joy, thank you so much, sweetie. Oh, yay. Thank you so much, House of Echelon, for joining. It really does mean a lot to me. And my baby's on the line, so that means a whole lot to me, too. I get very excited. It's like a teenage love thing. We've been together for 15 years. But yeah, it is. It's a teenage love thing. Like, I'm literally getting hot right now knowing that he's on his way home. All right. I digress. Let's come back. Focus. All right. So I was blessed to be able to open up my notifications this week, and it felt like Christmas Day. I saw that my Froggy stuff had featured me in her feed post. I was like, yay, thank you. That encouraged me to go ahead, screenshot, show the other reviews, and give some wonderful, just praise and thank yous to an appreciation to Panic Pixie Dolls and Also in Plastic Adventures. And I'm hoping I got the full name on that. And then yesterday I opened up my posts or my notifications and I see that I got a mention and it was from my Naturalistas. I was like, oh my God, right? It really did. That was Christmas. I was like, oh my God. And I show my kids and stuff because, I stay connected to my kids. So I'm like, hey, look at this. Oh my God. And it took me like a little minute. Hi, Fairy of the Wind 2001. Good morning on my side of the globe. But it took me a little minute only because I was so excited. So I'm like, get the Amazon book. Get the Amazon book so you can see what I'm talking about. And, because I had to set the whole thing up. Like, you know who just wrote me? You know who put me in their story, right? And then I did a screenshot and showed my husband because I was just like, look. So I did. I fangirled. I was so excited. I didn't really realize that my Naturalistas was looking at my page, and I was just excited. I was really excited. So I want to thank you guys for thinking of me and for putting me in your story. It just means so much to me. It really, really does. And if you haven't checked out their page, I definitely encourage you to follow their page, get their dolls. Their dolls is on my Christmas list. That's what I was like, their dolls are on my Christmas list. Santa Daddy already knows. We have 3 gals. They're getting my Naturalistas for Christmas as well from Santa. So I'm excited. And I just really wanted to do this live more than anything to say thank you to at my Froggy stuff. I want to say thank you to at my Naturalistas. I want to say thank you to each and every person who has been so supportive of me on this doll journey and on my writing journey. You just don't know how much that means to me. Like I said, I wouldn't be who I am right now in this space as a 40-year-old woman, wife, and mom, and entrepreneur without you guys giving me the encouragement and the love and the prayers and supports that you do. So even if I didn't say your name, it's not on purpose at all. I'm just excited. And sometimes being excited, you just kind of like lose focus. I remember I did a speech. This is in high school, transitioning to college, and I got a scholarship. And they had this, banquet and, standing in front of all these people, nervous. Just wrote the speech maybe like 10 minutes before going up. And my main thing was like, I'm going to make sure to say thank you to, the ones who have the scholarship, the school I'm going to, the school I'm coming from, of course, my mom. I can't remember if I put my dad in there or not, because my dad and I at the time weren't close. I put my aunt, you know, I try my best to like touch the bases, right? I'm like, as soon as I get off the stage. And I felt like I did a good job. Okay, as I'm nervous, all these people are out here. I mean, it was literally a banquet. It was a banquet, kind of like banquet/conference. And you had to go up there and be like, you know, thank you everyone for your support. And I'm really excited about going to college and I'm not going to let you down. You know, like that kind of thing. Like, you didn't waste your scholarship on me. I get off and my mom and my aunt are like, you didn't include your grandparents. You didn't include your grandparents. And I was like, dang, it wasn't on purpose. And they're like, yeah, they can't watch that because you didn't say their name. So it's not to put anybody on blast. But, you know, when you're excited, sometimes you forget. And it's not on purpose at all. Oh, congrats. I love the Naturalistas. Yes, they're beautiful dolls. Everyone needs to be included. I would have done the same. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I didn't do it on purpose. I literally didn't. I love my grandparents. You know, I love my family, both sides. And, you know, as I got older, I was able to get a little bit more of a relationship with my dad's side because my parents got a divorce when I was really young. But that's a whole nother story for another day, as my dad used to say. It's a story for another day. But nonetheless, it's easy to forget. And not on purpose. It doesn't, take away anybody's impact on my life. It's just like, you know, I don't have a list in front of me and I'm just like doing this impromptu and it's really, really not on purpose. So if anyone's name I did forget, don't take it personal. I love you guys. I thank you for being involved in my journey and I appreciate you. And I do want to point out that this dress right here is by Tam's Barbie Life. So if you have not checked out her Etsy, definitely do so. She has some amazing and beautiful pieces like this one right here. The other ones are Mattel. Thank you, Mattel. This one is by Tam's Barbie Life. She has an Instagram page as well as an Etsy. So do check out her page as well. And she is a very beautiful, kind soul as well. So definitely connect with her. And last but not least, let's get into locks. That's why I have these 3 here. Okay. Yes. Oh, I love it. Yes. So, and I can link her. I'll link her right now. Maybe it'll pop up. Yeah, I don't have to type the whole thing, do I? There goes her link. Yes, please. There you go. It's at Tam's Barbie Life. So definitely check her out. Amazing pieces, well made, durable. You'll enjoy it. You will enjoy it. So now, let's talk about locks before I get off of here. Because that's how I got featured with At My Naturalistas. I believe it may have been, may have just been my shiny personality. I don't know. But nonetheless, let's talk about natural hair. Let's talk about locks. I have locks. Now, everyone calls their natural hair something different. Some people may say dreadlocks. Some people may say locks. Some people may say nappy locks. It's just really depending on what they prefer. Some people have sister locks, which are extremely, extremely tiny locks to the point where it looks like just strands of hair. I must know how to reroot locks on my Barbies. Let's talk about that. I'm going to have to do that during like another live because I think that's going to take a little bit longer. But that would be awesome to talk about. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yes. I like where you're at with that, Fairy of the Wind 2001. So, I have locks. And that's what I call mine. I never thought that I would have locks, though. Because I used to relax my hair, color my hair, weave my hair, put extensions in my hair. All that good stuff. I loved hair so much. I thought about it more than Jesus. And that's just the truth. I had hair magazines in my bathroom, hair magazines in other places of my upstairs. It was kind of like an upstairs apartment. And when my husband and I first met, because my mother and we owned a house at the time, and I had the whole upstairs area. He could tell you I had hair magazines just pretty much everywhere. That was really important to me. And it was so important to me. I thought about it more than Jesus. I thought about it more than a lot of stuff. I was just like, how am I going to do my hair next? What do I want it to look like? It was just really important to me. And I would say 8 years ago, so it was 2014, I had my hair cut. And I've gone through a lot of different transitions with my hair. I've actually been not bald, but kind of like the G.I. Jane cut. Like I had mine cut all the way, like shaved. What we would call basically like, I think like a low even. My husband is a barber. He's very, very talented. He's been a welder. He's been a barber. He's been a flagger. He's been a carpenter. A comedian. But in one of our past lives together, he was a barber. He was the one who maintained my hair, gave me my low even, my shape ups and everything. And I loved it. I would let it grow out and then get it recut, or I would let it grow out and braid it, put extensions in my hair and braid it. And he's a man of all trades. He really is. I can't say I lucked up. I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed. I'm not gonna make it seem like he's superhuman, but yeah. So I'm blessed on that. See, when we talk about my husband, I get distracted. I get very distracted. Snap. Okay, so I'm talking about my hair. There we go. Talking about my hair. So yes, he was doing my haircuts, and I enjoyed it. Got a chance. Now I would almost advise a woman, if you're comfortable, cut your hair down, because it does give you a different connection with yourself. Like I had to re-identify with myself when my hair was cut. As far as re-identifying with myself as a human and as a feminine energy, if that makes sense. So it was interesting because I had identified myself with my hair, and then not having my hair made me had to rethink who I was in that time and space. Very sacred. Very sacred. Yes. It took such strength to be able to, occupy that space at that time. So when we, kind of do like a flashback, 2014, I believe like July, because I kind of remember going to a 4th of July party on my husband's side of the family at his cousin's. And I was talking to the wife of his cousin at that time. And she was like, oh, so what are you going to do with your hair? And at the time, I just had a 2-strand twist. Well, 2-strand twist is whenever you take like 2 strands of your hair, however size that you want it, and you just twist it. Literally, you twist it. You just go around like this until it twists. Right? Do you guys remember like that little twisty machine we had when we were younger, if you're my age? And you would just like connect the hair and it would, even Barbie had one and it would just twist it up. Well, that's the same thing. So it was a 2-strand twist, and I had maybe like that much hair. And at the time I would 2-strand twist it, and about every 2-3 weeks undo it, wash it, and then 2-strand twist it, and then do it all over again. And that literally, hi, Belle's doll story, it got to the point where it was just too much. You know what I mean? Like it just got to be too much. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because I didn't want to go back to my old ways of being preoccupied with my hair. As far as me mentally thinking about it. And God spoke to me to lock my hair. And I saw a vision of myself standing in front of a mirror. And my hair was just split down the middle. Just like this. In the mirror. And I was like, okay. So do I need to put braids in my hair? Like, do I put extensions back in there? And he was like, no. You're going to lock it. And he took me to the scripture with Samson. And how Samson, he had his strength through his hair, and he never cut it. Now, I have trimmed my ends before, I will admit, as far as just removing negative energy. But I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So September, right around close to my husband's birthday, is when I made the decision through God, through Jesus, through the Holy Spirit, to be like, I'm going to dedicate my hair to him. And it seemed like such a trivial thing to do, but I'm telling you, because hair is so important to me, and it wasn't really a style that I was looking to do in my life, it was a huge dedication. So of 2014 in September is when I locked my hair. officially. Now, since I was in 7th grade, my mother has had her hair locked. And that was one of the reasons why I was like, I'm not going to do it. And it was no offense to my mother, but I wanted to be separate of my mother. I didn't want my hair like my mom. I wanted my own style. I wanted my own identity. So I wasn't willing to do my hair like my mom. And it literally took the tap of God to say, I need you to sacrifice your hair for me. I need you to be obedient on this. And I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that leap and lock my hair. So I had to go through all the phases, the baby stage, the adult stage. And if you know about locks, like Fairy the Doll said, YouTube is awesome. Definitely look up on hello again, cosplay. Definitely check out YouTube if you don't know a whole lot about locks. But there are different stages in the lock process. There is the baby stage, there's the teenage stage, and the teenage stage is just like it sounds. A lot of times teenagers are just kind of like everywhere doing their own thing because they finally are learning about being autonomous, and yet at the same time they're having to be tamed by the parental authority, right? And that's the same thing with your hair. Your hair is just like, I'm so proud of you too. He said, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love it when my husband says it. It's like, I just got done talking about you earlier, and you literally just talking about you became a distraction. I was like, I can't remember where I'm at in my conversation because I was excited. Okay. There we go again. Talking about my husband, I get lost. Lost in a sea of his love. Yes, yes. Okay. So, what was I talking about? My hair. Teenage hair. Thank you. Teenage hair. There we go. I literally did get lost. So in the teenage stage is when the hair is just kind of going its own way. And no matter how you style it, it's just kind of, I'm going to do what I want. Yeah, it's just doing what it wants. The baby stage, which is when you have locks that's probably about right here. When all of your locks are just like right here. Or smaller, and you're just really waiting for those babies to grow out. That right there can really be another time that it's a sacred space. I mean, every stage is a sacred space, but right then, as far as honing in your feminine energy or your masculine energy, that's the time when you're really like having to become comfortable with the decision that you've made and that you've taken on. Some people call it an ugly stage. I don't feel that it is an ugly stage. Some people do, just because they're wanting so much to have length. I would say embrace where you're at, no matter. In fact, this conversation right here has encouraged me to take one of my dolls and reroute them so that they have baby locks. So we can really be able to talk about and examine what that's like, because some people do have a lot of confidence issues. I went through confidence issues. I was like, am I still pretty? You know, I couldn't really do a whole lot with my hair. It was just small. It was baby locks. And even when they grew out to be teenager, it was like, yay, I could do more, but they were just doing their own thing. And it was hard to put them into a style because it wasn't long enough for a style. They weren't short baby locks anymore, but I couldn't really like tame them. And so that was frustrating. Excuse me. So it was just very, very frustrating in the teenage stage. And right here is like what we call the adult stage. These are mature locks. They're much longer. You know, I can, if I want to put them into a style, I can put them into a style and not really have to be as concerned if they're going to actually stay in the style. I can use my own locks to make a style with it. I can, you know, you guys have seen me with chopsticks in my hair. I can take chopsticks or pencils and do it, or bobby pins and hairpins and keep it in. And actually this hairstyle is kind of cute. I like it. So this is more of your mature adult stage where you could do more with it. So if you do plan on having, thank you. She said, oh, I love that. I do too. I'm like, what? Get my motto on. How about that pose? But I would say if you do decide to put locks in your storyline with your character, study it. Study. This goes into storyline content. We talk about studying. Right now, even with myself, I'm doing a new storyline and I'm having to research and study it. Now, it's coming from a personal interest that I have because of my own personal life story and experiences, but my life story and experiences will only take me so far. I have to be able to go beyond my own life to be able to see how do other people walk out that journey in their life. So it's taking me more time to research it so I can take what I have and blend it in with other stories of other people to be able to work it for my characters in my storyline. And that's part of what's taking me a little bit longer, and that's okay. It's okay. It's good to research it rather than putting something out there and having someone correct it later on because they're like, that doesn't make any sense. I'll give you an example. Titanic, love the movie. Talking about the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, not the one before then. And I love black and whites, but the one with Leonardo DiCaprio really did capture my teenage heart at the time. Okay? And that's just the truth. Now, the issue was that he had mentioned in a portion of that movie that he used to go capture fish, right? He used to, what do you call that when you go and you like cut a hole in the ice and go like ice fishing, right? But the location that he gave, they said they weren't even ice fishing during that particular year. It's a great movie, but I believe it's James Cameron. He got cited on that. They were like, wait a minute, you didn't do enough research. Yeah, ice fishing. So he was saying that he went ice fishing in a location that during that particular time of year, in that era, ice fishing was not going on. So James Cameron got called out for that. I mean, it's no way to be 100%, but if you can do as much research as you can to fully develop your character, fully develop your story, I say do that. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm spending some time doing some research so that when I bring my story to you guys, it'll be foolproof, okay? So that's where I'm at with this. So if you're going to put locks on one of your characters, research it. Also, listen to people's testimonials when they talk about what their personal feelings were. Yeah, research is very important. You're so right, Fairy of the Wind. Make sure that you also listen to people's testimonies about how they felt in their baby stage with their locks, how they felt in their teenage years with their locks, how they felt in the mature stage of their locks, so that you can get a good grasp of what they feel. Now, I've had my locks for now 8 years, and there's something that we call lock. Some people say lock anniversary. Some people say lockiversary. Lockiversary. That always sounds really weird to me. Either like I'm celebrating my lockversary. If that's what you call it, cool. I just call it my lock anniversary. I really don't plan on doing anything real big until my 10 year. But each person celebrates theirs different. Some people celebrate it every year. Every year. How do I know this? Because I have locks and then I subscribe to other people's page who has locks as well. Locks is a true sacrifice. It's not just like growing out your hair and then just keep it moving. Because of the sacrifice and because of the scrutiny that's even attached to having our hair in locks, that's the other thing to research, because locks doesn't just come without scrutiny. There's a lot of different times that people have been even fired from jobs because they have their locks. There was a young man who was on a wrestling team and he was told that he couldn't wrestle unless he got his locks removed. And because it was so important for him to be able to wrestle for his team, they went ahead and cut the boy's locks. They didn't even cut it in a nice way. It was just like F you cut. Like, I hate to say it like that, but it was like, and then he wrestled and won. I was like, you better win, boy. You better. But it was discrimination. So there is discrimination that's attached to having our hair natural. It's been kids that have been arrested, kids that have been taken out of school because they wore their hair natural, in braids, in a fro, in locks. There's a lot that goes to it. So if you put a character in your story that has locks, that has natural hair, please attach the storyline that goes with it as far as the discrimination that's there. You know, they have their own personal issues as far as, how do I feel now that my hair is natural? Or I've had my hair natural my whole life. Am I happy? Am I proud about it? Does it make me feel connected to my culture? Does it make me feel connected to me? Or is it something that I'm having to relearn how to be comfortable with myself and also deal with how people see me? Also deal with how society views me. Research. There is so much information that's available on YouTube from people's personal viewpoints and their testimonials, their own personal stories. And also, if you want to DM me, please do. I do not mind at all. Part of the reason and main reason why I put locks on my dolls, I'm trying to make this live as short as possible. I didn't know I was going to talk this long about it, but it's something that's very important to me. I first began with putting locks on my dolls through my eldest daughter. I had gifted her my childhood doll, and the hair, what happened was like the hair messed up. Okay, so like the hair is messed up, matted and twisted, and we ended up just cutting it off. And then we had saw on YouTube, right, about how to put the yarn into the hair. Now with her doll, I think that she's beautiful. My daughter loves her, but in my personal opinion, I put too much yarn. Like, it's just really, like, her hair is so thick, and I didn't really know about cutting it. I think I was like too nervous to cut it. So, huh? Yeah, I didn't want to mess it up. So her locks are yarn locks, and there's just literally me. We took the head off and, you know, put the yarn into the needle, put the needle into the head, pulled it, cut it, and then, you know, knot it at the end and then do it again. So there's a lot of strands of yarn, a lot of strands of locks. She has a whole lot. She's beautiful. Her locks go all the way down to her ankle. Is it possible for someone to have their locks that long? Yes. Research. Go to what is that you guys love? Guinness World Records, right? Guinness World Records. There is a black Rapunzel, and her hair, like, oh my God, it's so long. Like, it literally, like, when she walks, it glides on the ground like a veil. Black Rapunzel, Guinness World of Books, probably about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I think she was on there. Hey! And she talked about cutting it because her neck hurt. Hello! My husband just got in from... Hey. He just got in from working with a client.
Hey.
Hello.
You doing all right?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm sorry.
You're okay. You want your coffee back? Hello, this is Coach Play. My husband, he just got done his 5 a.m. training, and then you gotta go to the gym.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm just glad to see you, because here lately, like I said, our schedule's different, so he's going from one place to the next place, and the next place. I don't see him until like later on at night. It would hurt mine too. Ouch. Yeah, definitely hurt the neck. So we're talking about Black Rapunzel, you know, the one who has the locks way down on the ground. You were watching.
Yeah, on the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's my favorite show.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this live even shorter. So, research. There's a lot of different testimonials. Oh, she said, "Hi, Sacred's hubby."
Hello, Sacred World.
Okay, so let's just talk real quick about why representation is important. So when I worked with her doll, that's what encouraged me as far as with my dolls. Gloria is my first time after working on my daughter's doll that I actually did this. Is it raining real bad out there? Oh, goodness. I'm glad you got home safe. Thank you, Jesus. I am. Yeah.
It was so bad we worked out inside the garage.
Really? I'm glad you were inside the garage.
It worked out great. Sorry.
All right, no, you're fine. Sure, I gotta do my checkup with my baby. Okay, so Gloria right here, she was my own personal first grade group. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys a little secret with her. She still has her hair underneath her hair. I actually did not cut her hair because I was very nervous about cutting her hair and then later on wanting to have her hair back. This is the BMR doll, 1959. And if anyone has this doll, if you've experienced this doll, her hair, it's really, really pretty. Like, it feels really, really good. It's not like the 1980s dolls that we had, because their hair feels kind of cruddy. Sorry. I know. I hate saying that, because the little baby self of me is like, no. She loved those dolls. But a lot of your newer dolls, the hair does feel better. It doesn't tangle like our dolls did growing up, our childhood dolls. So I was concerned that if I cut her hair and I didn't like it, it was just over. And at the time, my grays were really peeking in. You have to look a little bit more right now to see it, but my grays were really peeking in. And so I was like, why don't, and on top of that, I've always wanted a streak. It's nice. I love her. I love her too. I love me some Gloria. Now you're gonna make me have to share the story about Gloria, but I've talked about it in other lives. Gloria and Raymond is a story that I wrote in 8th grade, and it had to do, I'm going to try to like briefly summarize it. Had to do with a couple. Actually, in my story, he was white and she was black. They were an interracial couple, and they were experiencing racism from the Ku Klux Klan, who was burning crosses in the front of their yard, which to come out, I found out years later, that actually happened to my grandparents, where they had crosses that were burnt in front of their yard. So, anyways, I wrote that story. Lost the story, but not in here. It always stayed right here. And I just always loved Gloria and Raymond. So then fast forward, of course, I have Raymond right now. And he is, I believe, Puerto Rican American, and she is Black American. And just being able to, you know, relive that story in this time, it's been so awesome. So, oh, that sounds like a great story. Thank you. It's definitely something that I plan on rewriting again. You know, it's always in here. It's always in here. So I look forward to rewriting it. But I've always wanted a gray streak, and I think it's just that love of X-Men that's in me. I'm a Marvel fan. I have nothing against DC, but Marvel rules. So I wanted that gray streak, and I said, why not put that in my Gloria? And that's what made me give her the gray streak. I was like, you know, I have some grays. I'm not ashamed of my grays, but I really want a gray streak. I gave her a gray streak. And I just really feel like I gave her this distinguishing personality. Now, what I did with her hair is that I watched some YouTube videos and learned how to wrap the locks. Now, me having extensions in the past, and then also in the past putting extensions in my daughter's hair, one of the things that, one of the styles that you can do with the extensions is being able to braid it and then braid the hair with the extension and then wrap the hair. So I kind of took on that method with her hair as far as being able to wrap her actual hair. I took sections of her hair and wrapped it and then knotted it. So, you know, I'm saying it and it's like, oh, okay, I could do that. But it was literally a process. Hi, Valley of the Dolls 61. Love Marvel 2. Major Storm vibes. Thank you. Love me some Storm. Love me some Storms. That's a huge compliment. Thank you. So that's what I did with her hair. I went on to work on Sheeta She's hair. Right here, Sheeta. Little mini Sheeta. I love her. And I decided with her, because she had a fro, I was like, how can I do this and give her more length to her hair? Because her fro really ended like up here. And so I'm telling you, divine providence just showed me how to be able to take her hair and use the yarn to extend the hair. But even with her hair is underneath. So if at any point in time, I'm like, hey, I want to go ahead and just put her, you know, just take these locks out and have the natural hair, have the factory hair, I can do that. Same thing with Reggie. And of course his is, you know, I got it tied in the back with a rubber band, but his hair is actually still underneath of there. And it's been something that if you suffer with any form of anxiety and perfectionism like I do, and you're nervous about cutting your doll's hair and you're like, listen, I don't know if this doll's going to be back on the market again. And even if the doll's back on the market again, it could cost like $50 compared to the $20 today. Yeah, I would suggest just going ahead, looking at some YouTube videos, or, you know, if I get enough people saying that this is something that they want me to show on here, I'll show it on here. Wrap the hair. So his hair is wrapped. And one of the things that I love is that I can do different, you know, styles with the locks as well. I've done different styles with my girls over here, especially like the older that the locks get. Oh my goodness, there's so many things you can do. Gloria's locks are older. And just like with our locks, When our locks get mature, we can do more styles with it. There are so many different things that I can do with Gloria hair now compared to when, or say compared, but compare to, I think I do want to say a T, compared, yes, it is a T, compared to when I first locked her hair. Now, his hair is the most recent that I have wrapped in locks. So his is still kind of stiff, quite honestly. Like, I'm not able to do as much with his, and I kind of just keep his bundled in the back. So it's not a whole lot I can do, you know. It's just kind of falling down. Now, in comparison, if I take homegirls right here, hers just kind of like flows, and like just earlier when I was showing you, I put her hair to the back and it just kind of like stayed. I'm telling you, Gloria, that's my girl right here. Love me some Gloria. Yes. Will not get rid of her. Love her. She has been a huge help in my process. I talked about adult play therapy, and she's been wonderful in my process of adult play therapy. So representation, let's talk about that real brief. Representation matters. It matters a whole lot. For me, if I put someone in my storyline that's Asian American or comes from the Pacific Isles, who's Hawaiian or Native American, and well, I shouldn't really just say Native American, but who's indigenous, part of the First Nations people, it's important for me to research, so I can make sure that the storyline that I'm providing is authentic and true to the nature of the individual and the culture. And I would say the same for if you put a character in your hair in your storyline who has a different kind of hair, such as locks. And locks is not just exclusive to us as blacks or to African Americans or to Africans. Locks is something that actually I've seen individuals in the First Nation culture wear. I've seen those who identify as Asian wear. I've seen those who identify as Indian, who come from the land of India, wear. So if you look at different cultures, you will see locks in the history of their culture. This is not something that's just exclusive to us that are black. Of course, you have hippies that wear it. You have surfers that wear it. There's all different kind of people who wear locks. So definitely research, and find out who wears locks. Why is this important to them? Is this a cultural thing? Is this an individual thing? When I used to live in the Highlands and Bargetown Road, I grew up, I tell you guys, there are a whole lot of old people and vintage and antiques and hippies. Literally, like almost like the last of the Mohegans hippies. And that's what I grew up around. I was like 8 years old hanging out with 20-year-olds. And I loved it. They just, they gave me a whole new insight to life. And one of the things that I did learn is that people had locks and they did different things with their locks. Some people use beeswax, because you got to think about that too when you make your dolls and you have them with their locks. Find out what products do they use, because our products are different. Some people have beeswax. Some people actually use peanut butter. Somebody in conversation with someone how they use Kool-Aid. I don't know how they did it, but because like I said, I was about 8 or 10 years old. And my mother, she would be sewing at her shop, and I would be out on Bargetown Road hanging out with my hippie friends, and they took care of me. I'll take them. So, yeah, find out as much information as you can. Research. Come on, buddy. That would be one of my main things. But then my other thing is understanding how important representation is. Part of the reason why that feature meant so much to me, because number one, anybody could have been chosen. There are plenty of doll accounts on here. I'm not going to sit up here and act like my doll account is the only one. There are plenty of amazing doll accounts on here with locks, and even with dolls that have better locks than mine do. You know what I mean? So it meant a whole lot to me that I was thought of and mentioned, and I really do appreciate that so much at my Naturalistas. And for my Froggy stuff to be on there, that's so amazing. And I give out kudos and praise to her and her daughter who are locking on their lock journey together. That is so special. It really, really is. My husband, he had locked his hair for a portion of time, And I ended up, of course, locking my hair, but it was after his journey had concluded. And he said, I wish that we could have had that together. And it just, it just didn't happen at that time. But when you're able to share that together as a mother and daughter, I think that's so special. So kudos to you guys being able to share this experience and journey together. And I hope that it, ties you guys together, binds you together even more, because it is a special journey. But representation does matter. And that's another reason why that feature has meant so much to me, because each culture needs to be able to see their own face. I believe it's awesome and amazing and wonderful that Mattel now has dolls that have braids, because we didn't have that. We just had basically the Christy mode, and it was one other mode. Was it a Steffi mode? Because she'd be like, she always had her lip kind of pursed. She was beautiful though. I'm pursing out the lip. I had a Peaches and Cream doll like her, and I had a doll that used to, in fact, it was my first diorama in 2nd grade. The doll that would light up at night with the stars on her dress and the stars umbrella. Oh, she was so beautiful. And it was the doll with the little open mouth. And I want to say she was Steffi. Very, very pretty, thin face. But that was it. That was it. And maybe like one other doll. Well, that other doll that came a little bit later. The Madam C.J. Walker, she now has that face mode from the 80s. Which I wasn't totally happy about. Because I love Madam C.J. Walker. She was an inspiration to me growing up. And I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire just like Madam C.J. Walker when I was younger. So when I saw the doll didn't really look like Madam C.J. Walker, I was like, this is a 1988 face mode, or 1991 face mode. I'll admit, I was a little bit mad. It was like the UNICEF doll face mode or something. I was a little bit mad. I had the UNICEF doll. I was a little bit mad because I wanted her to look more like Madam C.J. Walker. Now, this new doll for Bessie Coleman, she doesn't look exactly like Bessie Coleman, but it's a new face mode, and I can feel, I feel in my heart that they did try to get a comparable face mode. So I'm like, okay, cool. But Mattel has stepped up on having their dolls have braids. And I'm like, good job. Their new Barbie, Brooklyn. You got Brooklyn, you got Malibu Barbie, and you got Brooklyn Barbie. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Exactly. The only one they've done well is Maya. I agree. I fully agree. Because I have the Ella Fitzgerald. That's my Mama Catherine doll. And that was Valley of the Dolls 61 who said that. Thank you for that comment. I have the Ella Fitzgerald doll. But when you look at Ella... And don't get me wrong, Ella Fitzgerald doll is beautiful. Okay, she's beautiful. But she doesn't look like, her face mode does not really compare to the actual Ella. So that was a little bit frustrating. And I think for us who are in the doll community, and it's I'm not bashing Mattel. I would never bash Mattel. Their dolls has made a positive impact in my life. Literally, especially being an only child. Has meant so much to me. I had my best friend Michelle, who I've talked about so much, but we really connected because of dolls. So I'm not going to sit up here and bash Mattel at all. They've been important in my journey in life. But I believe for us in the doll community, the reason why it stands out to us so much when we talk about that face mode doesn't match, because there are other creatives on here who make dolls that look exactly like the face mode. You want Dolly Parton, you get Dolly Parton. You want Beyonce, you get Beyonce. You want, I can't think of another name, but they make dolls that look like the actual artist or person. So whenever we see Mattel and they kind of do a sloppy job on it, it's like, why? One of my favorites, but looks nothing like Ella. Exactly, it does not look like Ella. But still my favorite. I love my Mama Catherine doll. She brings a lot of energy into my play, my storyline. But does not look like her. Like I said, when you see other creatives do it, and I understand that Mattel's like, hey, it would probably cost more money to hire on these people, even as contract workers. Hint, hint. Even as contract workers to, make the faces. I understand that it may cost money. But when you've paid like $65 and $75 or $120 on a doll, you wouldn't like that doll to look similar, to the person. And I understand inspirational dolls can be $30. But then when you go back to get them if you wait too long. They're way more than that. Can I get a doll that looks kind of similar to the one that the doll is aspiring to look like? Please. I don't mean it to be a but come on now. All right. And I guess for them, they're like, hey, we want to keep the other artists employed. If you really want a doll that looks like Ella Fitzgerald, go ahead and have it be custom made. But gosh, it would be nice if Mattel did it too. I don't want to complain. But representation does matter. I'm glad that they finally do have more dolls that have braids. I would love to see dolls that have locks, though. Now, I do want to give it up for certain accounts that have done reroutes. Ones I'm thinking of off the top of my head, Life in Dollum has Hazel. I love Hazel. Hazel has her locks. There, of course, is My Froggy Stuff. Her dolls have locks as well. There's the I Dolled It For You account. Her dolls have locks, and she also sells packages of hair if you want to reroute your own doll. And I believe she does custom orders, and she also sells dolls that have the locks in it, the lock reroute. Trying to think of another account or page that I've seen where dolls have locks. There's other doll accounts to where we have customized our dolls and put the locks there. The representation matters, though. It's nothing more heartwarming than to open up a page and you see a doll that looks like you. And I would say that across the board, no matter what race that you are, what you identify with in your life, there's nothing more heartwarming than to see a doll that looks like you. Yeah, we do. We have a few accounts that definitely have locks on their page. And so if you personally don't have locks, you don't know anyone that has locks, and you may know like one or two people, research. Ask questions if you don't feel comfortable asking questions, because sometimes people don't want you asking questions about their hair. They don't want you touching their hair. Completely understandable. I'm not a pet. I don't want you petting on my hair. Okay? So not everybody's going to want you to come up and touch on their hair. That can be very rude. Just go ahead. Go to YouTube. There are so many amazing content creatives that are willing to give you their testimony about their process with their hair, what products that they do, that they use, how they felt throughout their journey, how society has judged them or has not judged them. YouTube it. And if you have any questions, I'm more than willing to talk to you about my hair and my journey with my hair. I'm more than willing to talk to you about my process with wrapping up my doll's hair for locks. Let's see here. When you're done, please go check out our page. Check out Val Tough Cuts. Val Tough Cuts. Valley of the Dolls 61 said that I most definitely will check out your page. So, guys, this has been such an amazing time, hasn't it? This is our youngest out of the bunch. This is the one I was pregnant with, guys, when I was doing my lives. This is that little mister right here. He is extremely busy, always. Val does real human locks. Okay. I most definitely will check out your page. That actually made me think of, I think it's like Tiara's Tiny Kitchen, I want to say. I know I've seen there's locks, there's dolls with locks on there as well. So, just be aware. Handsome man. Oh, thank you. I was about to pull out Reggie right here. I'm like, yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, my little dude right here. Yeah, I tell you, jeans, good jeans, isn't it right? It doesn't. I'm just saying it because they're mine, And even if they weren't mine, and I just saw my husband and he had all these kids, I'd be like, oh my God, they're so cute. I would still get with them. But they're mine. So, okay. All right, guys. I thank you for being with me this morning. And if it's afternoon where you're at, thank you for being with me during your afternoon. If it's evening where you're at, thank you for being with me in your evening. If you see this on replay, thank you so much for spending the time to watch it. Remember, representation does matter. Research matters. And I just wanted to tell everyone thank you. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the reviews. Thank you for the emails and the DMs, and I've already, called out some names earlier, but I really do appreciate you. I have to be careful because I have a shelf with dolls, and he actually just recently, poor baby, he took one of my dolls off and broke the neck. I was like, oh, I was so upset and I was so hurt. And then he gave me this, he smiled and he gave me a kiss. And I was like, all right, fine. We just gotta, mwah. 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 So I just gotta find a doll that will match the body. And it's one of my favorite dolls. My husband gave it to me. It's the swimsuit doll, the new Christy mode. Her face is like kind of bigger than what the Christy face mode was when we were growing up. But dude, I love that doll. I rebodied her. And I would just like take her off the shelf and just hold her, especially like when my day gets kind of stressful. I'm like, oh, pretty girl. And she would just help me like get into a good peace place. So after he broke the neck, I just kind of like fit the head on real tight. So now instead of having like a loopy neck, it's kind of down a little. But I said, that'll work until we get a different made to move body. But that stuff happens. So I have to be careful whenever he grabs on the dolls and stuff because he's very, very strong. He doesn't have the same respect for them like I do. So. All right, guys, I enjoy being with you today. I thank you so much for being with me. And I do hope that this was an informative live and that it helps you on your journey with your characters. Remember, research. If you don't know, ask. If you don't feel comfortable asking, and even if you do feel comfortable but you want more information, YouTube it. There's a lot of us on here who do have locks or who do custom locks on our dolls. Feel free to ask, especially if the person like myself is saying, hey, you can ask me any questions. Ask. We will answer. Or if someone doesn't, want to talk about it, I'm pretty sure that they'll let you know, like, I don't feel comfortable talking about it, or they just won't respond. But for the most part, in my experience, the people that I've talked to on here, they, any questions that I have, I don't care if it's like I've never talked to them before and I'm just asking, like, what body did you use for the doll? They come and they, send me pictures and tell me, like, this is what I use. I love our doll community. Our doll community is outstanding. Just it's amazing. It's amazing. So I guarantee you someone is going to give you more information about locks, whatever your questions are. You guys have an awesome, amazing Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Is that right? Thank God it's Friday. All right, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. There you go. Say bye-bye. It's like, who am I saying bye to? I don't see anyone. Say bye-bye. All right, guys. Thank you again. You have a good day. Bye-bye. Look at my finger going all over there, huh? Like, what? Giant hand.